Hi everyone, Katya Martinova here. For those of you who don't know me, I am a life coach and an energy healer, which in a very brief way means that I work with your energy to help you feel better, faster, and easier. I help release a lot of the negative stuff that you're experiencing and carrying inside in a very gentle way, which improves all areas of your life in a very fast and potent way. So this video is actually going to be just an update on what my family and I have been up to in the last few months. Ever since I came back from Thailand, we've been working on selling our house, and the reason for that is that initially when my husband and I had the idea of living out of a camper, we wanted to rent our house out and then travel freely and go anywhere in the US that we feel going to, but we just didn't feel like we have enough of the upfront capital to make it work comfortably. And the reason why I'm sharing this is because I'm a human, just like all of us are, and I didn't come from a wealthy family by any means, but everything that I have so far, and the reason why I work with other people to help them achieve their dreams and to live their life authentically and in a fulfilling way, is because I have gone through all of these processes myself, and the life that I live now is all thanks to my work and dedication to my dreams. And we didn't want to sell our house. It wasn't our first pick, but we decided to do it because we didn't want to just cling to the idea of having a house no matter how much we love it, because it would prevent us from experiencing so much more. And what we want to experience when we travel, it's just something that speaks to us in such a big way, and we know that it's going to be so fulfilling for all of us, including our child. And now is the perfect time to go because he doesn't need to go to school yet. So this video is going to be about our story, but also I want to approach it from the angle of working at this whole situation through a specific mindset and being an observer to your own experience, because then you can be less biased and you can see a lot of things about yourself that are resurfacing, and they're teaching you something. Because most of us view fear, view discomfort as negative things, but actually there is a lot to learn from. There is a lot to undig when you are afraid of something, because actually the situation that you're afraid of, part of you wants, so there is a lot of excitement involved in that. And once you kind of filter through all of that that's kind of coming up to the surface, you can actually learn a lot about yourself, and a lot of the things that used to seem scary, they won't be scary anymore. So I definitely encourage you to look at fear that way. But anyway, so we decided to sell our house, and the first thing that we had to do is to find a realtor. Here in the US, just like in many other countries, I'm sure, you can sell a house on your own, or you can choose to work with a realtor who will do pretty much everything for you, and then part of the money that you make on the house goes to them. Here in the US, or maybe just in the state of Wisconsin, I'm not sure, it's 6%. To us it was worth it, but it was very important for us to find a good realtor. And this was lesson number one. The first realtor we saw, she just had this like heavy, unexcited energy about her. She made me feel, and my husband feel, like our house was like, you know, I'll sell it, but you have to rearrange this, you have to change that. Like, she just made us feel so bad about our own house, and that just didn't jive well with me. So it's like, no way we're going with this realtor. But a few years back, if I, you know, because a lot of us have this like, oh, I want to be a good girl or a good boy complex. because of the societal expectations or something, sometimes we might go along, or a lot of times we might go along with something that doesn't feel right to us, but you know, what are others gonna say if we decide to go against the flow? So this was situation number one, where we needed to really make that choice, even though it was easiest and more acceptable to just go with this person, because, well, if we say no, it might upset her or whatever else the reason might be. But I knew that this was not the right realtor. So my husband and I found someone else, and it was a couple, and they are the realtors we ended up selling our house with. And they were just like the complete opposite. They came, they were so excited. They were like, your house is so beautiful. Like, there's no doubt we're gonna find a great buyer for your house. Like, they were excited. They were happy to help us with this process. And I'm sure it kind of set up the groundwork for everything that happened afterwards. So please, please, when you are in a situation where you want to do what the society would expect you to do, or you're afraid of what others might think, no, follow your intuition, follow your inner voice, and do what feels right to you. And that's how you actually learn more and more how to listen to yourself, how to put yourself first, how to respect your boundaries, and not just go along with what the society says. So the sale of the house went quite smoothly after that, except we had a buyer who almost bought the house, but then she backed out. And it was actually a good learning experience, especially for my husband, because there was a lot of upset, a lot of anger involved because of how she acted. But at the end of the day, again, it was like a great learning experience to pay attention to how we were affected by the situation, what we were doing with our emotions. And for me, being a life coach and an energy healer, I always love observing energy and seeing what comes up and how I can work through that. It's actually fun for me. So we're happy in the end that she didn't become the new owner, because she definitely wasn't the right person. And the new owner that we ended up with is such a better fit, and we're so happy that she's gonna live in our former house and create a lot of happy memories with it. So now we are staying with my husband's parents. Again, a lot of people would be like, oh no, I better not tell anyone that I'm living with my parents. No, for a little while it's okay. And if you have a good relationship with your parents, they will actually cherish those times with you, because we're going to be leaving for quite a few months. And it's just an amazing opportunity for us to spend time, and for our son to spend time with his grandparents. So we're really grateful for that. And we're currently working on preparing our camper. We need to put some solar panels on it and do some electric stuff, so then we can really kind of go off the grid and, you know, still stay online, but be able to explore areas that are not easily accessible. So we don't plan to always go to just campgrounds with all the conveniences, but we want to actually be able to go to places that are not so easy to get to. That's why we bought this kind of camper, more of like an off-road, off-the-grid kind of experience. And then we ended up having the camper before we had a truck for it. So a few days ago we bought a truck, and it was just also such an amazing thing how it all happened. It's an older truck, but it's in a great condition. And because my husband knows so much about cars, and he knows how to buy them intelligently, we did take the truck to an independent mechanic before we bought the car, because we wanted to make sure that we were not gonna just, you know, open up a money pit and have to throw money into the car afterwards. So we're almost ready. I'll be posting you once we I'll be posting about our travels once we get going. We are really excited, but in the meantime, I hope this video was useful, and if you have any questions or comments, let me know, and stay tuned.